Hi, my name is Tessa. I'm the program convener for Diploma of Health Science and Diploma of Social and Psychological Science. I'm going to be giving you a little bit of an insight of what the diploma is all about. So I'm going to start with Diploma of Health Science. My role, in essence, is just to look after the teaching staff, make sure they're okay, they're happy, making sure you guys are okay because you're going to come and see us very soon, hopefully, making sure that also the courses run okay, so everything runs smooth. So in the Diploma of Health Science, we've got a couple of courses which are amazing, and I'm going to tell you about those in 1 second. But before I do that, I would like to tell you a little bit about what the diploma is and what type of courses, because that's a very courses are involved and what type of jobs you may be able to get. So I'll give you a bit of an insight. So the Diploma of Health Science is amazing because it provides students with 13 different bachelor pathways to go into. So regardless of where the students want to be, there's something there for them. And there's always an option, which is very important. Now, if I may start with what we actually have in the courses that we have, I can break it down in, I would say, maybe 3 different sections. The first one would be the academic and professional skills that you can see here that we deliver in trimester 1. This particular course is really important. We have it in all our diplomas, so it's embedded in there. So, and why is it there? So we can educate the students in the things that they need to do. So, you know, when writing an essay, how they do it, how do they need to reference. So that would be the first part, empowering you so you know what to do and what not to do. The second part is the biological side of things. So you can see in trimester 1 and trimester 3, there's 2 anatomies and physiology. So those 2 courses there together with cell tissue regulation and genes and diseases, those form the basic biological parts. Then we've got the chemistry. And you can see the chemistry of biological systems 1 in trimester 2 and the chemistry of biological systems 2 in trimester 3. Now, to be able to do the chemistry of biological systems 1, we have to make sure that you're equipped with maths, because Chem 1, as we call it, is pretty much 90% applied maths. So what we've got embedded in the diploma, which has been an amazing success, is the essential maths that you can see in trimester 1. That course there is the prerequisite for Chem 1. And then from Chem 1, once you've passed that course, then you're absolutely equipped to come and see me in Chem 2. Yeah, so you can see that in trimester 3 there. So besides that, we also have to, and this one stands a little bit on the side, but it is really important to see the big picture. So you can see in trimester 2, we've got health challenges for the 21st century. Now this course here is not a scientific course, but it looks at society, the community, and the healthcare professionals, how they all come together. Because obviously a lot of the students want to become paramedics, or they want to become, they want to do pharmaceuticals, or they would like to become mat lab sci people, so they work in laboratories, or physiotherapists. So they need to know how all these healthcare professionals come together. Yeah, so that's that course that you can see right in the middle in trimester 2. One thing else I want to point out is that we've got prerequisites. So that means, so in the example that I just gave you before with the chemistry of biological systems 1, you can't do Chem 2 before you have done Chem 1. So there's a couple of those prerequisites also in the diploma. So the first one would be for anatomy and physiology 1, you need to combine that with cell tissue regulation before you can go and do anatomy and physiology 2. So to be able to do genes and diseases that you can see there in trimester 3, you have to have done cell tissue regulation. So they just scaffold nicely on top of each other, so then by the time you get to, for instance, genes and disease, you have the knowledge, the prerequisite knowledge, so then you can thrive through it. Now the next slide I'm going to show you, which this is what I was telling you about, all the different options. There's a whole heap of them. Now, to be able to do the diploma and then be able to articulate over into these bachelors, you need to, first of all, yes, pass the courses, but make use of the amazing facilities we've got on campus. So the first slide that you might have seen was where you can see the G40 building, and that there, but behind it actually the hospital. So we are really interconnected with the hospital, and the G40 facilities, absolutely amazing. In there, we've got, for the nutrition students, the students who are interested in becoming nutritionists or dietetics, we've got the kitchen. So in Chem 2 actually we go and we make a curry, so that's one of the labs. The students absolutely love it. They get to make the curry, learn about the different chemical properties of all the ingredients that they use, and then they get to eat it, which is fantastic. Now, besides that, for those anatomy and physiology labs that I was telling you before, we've got an amazing laboratory facilities. We've got 3D printed models in there. All the med students use the facility. We've got surgeons come in and also use the facility. So it's an absolute amazing, it's got the best view also of the Gold Coast. Now, so we've got amazing facilities, which is important. So we can equip you for then to go into whatever bachelor you like. So I guess I'll tell you about health science and biomedical science first, because that's a question that I always get. What's the difference between these two, and which one can I use to become a doctor? Because that's one of the very common questions. So health science in essence is a very generic course, but they do have a lot in common with biomedical science, so some courses in common. Which one would prepare you academically better for, if you decide that you would like to go and become a medical doctor? Biomedical science has got more of a deeper look into all the different courses. Now, on the other hand, health science prepares students for a whole range of jobs, so it's with a very strong focus also on environmental science. So they've got a lot of majors in that part too. But if you're interested in working in the lab, or you're interested in working in a hospital, you can definitely do or use the Bachelor of Health Science. Now, another very popular bachelor is nutrition and dietetics. So for that, I just want to point out for a moment that I've got 5 places per year. Yeah, so I repeat that, per year. So Diploma of Health Science got 2 intakes in trimester 1 and trimester 2. So that means for any of these diplomas, any of these bachelors that have quotas, we have a look at the whole year, the student that has the highest GPA, the 5 students in this case for nutrition dietetics that have the highest GPA, so that's grade point average, and those one will get a place at Griffith. Now I always get the question, what if I don't get in this, the 5, what can I do then? So then it's the question of us finding you an option. There's always an option. It might mean that you might be able to get into health science, because they have courses in common, and do maybe a trimester or 2 trimesters and then request an internal transfer into nutrition and dietetics. So there's always options. The other one that are becoming very popular are Bachelor of Pharmacy and Pharmacology and Toxicology. It's really gone up in popularity, and I guess in the past year or so. So for that, or for those 2, what's the difference in between them? That's another question, I guess. If a student is interested in working in a pharmacy, then Bachelor of Pharmacy would be the best pathway. If a student is interested in doing research in pharmacology, yeah, so that's you working in a research lab, then the bachelor for you would be pharmacology and toxicology. Now, if I look further, I'm not going to go through the whole list, but the ones that I would like to stop and talk to is the Bachelor of Paramedicine, which is extremely important. Only 5 places there, so the same discussion we would have. What if I don't get in the 5 spots? Well, we'll have to find a different option for you for then eventually, so a stepping stone for you to get there. The other one, which is extremely important, and I only have 2 spots for per year, is physiotherapy. So I've got 2 spots for physiotherapy in Nathan and 2 spots on the Gold Coast. So that's 4 in total. So same thing again, that one we need to be a little bit more mindful of. For physiotherapy, there's no such thing as internal transfer. So that means that you can't do a bachelor and then ask university to, can I please go and do physiotherapy? You will have to apply directly for them. But there's other bachelors that you might be able to do to give you more of an insight. For instance, Bachelor of Exercise Science. Yeah, so that might be a little bit more closely related, and then eventually when you get your GPA up, then you can request or you can apply to get a spot into physiotherapy. So as you can see, there's a whole range of bachelor, and I'm very proud of that, lots of options. So I guess from here, if you decide that, yes, this sounds like something I would like to do, we'll be there to answer any sort of questions for you. I'll be back a little bit later on to talk about Diploma of Social and Psychological Science.